Hello there, I am Gifty Auntie. Welcome to TSP with me. Hello there, I am Gifty Auntie, and let me officially welcome you to TSP with me. Yes, we are still listening to the feminine side, but this time we are bringing two brands together, the Gifty Auntie brand and the Standpoint brand. So the same standpoint, but this time more powerful, capturing untold stories of women, unearthing more stories, unearthing the potentials of more women. It's going to be more of intentionality, deeper conversation, one woman at a time, changing the narrative, empowering holistically, creating role models and mentors that can positively and powerfully impact your lives. Welcome to the month of May on the Standpoint, and you know in May it's all about motherhood, and what a way to start our show. Today, my guest, she's a powerhouse. Controversy, got it. Transformation, got it. Ambition, got it. Humor, got it. Tradition, got it. She's an embodiment of womanhood. Who am I talking about? Well, let me say thank you to Adipa Fabrics for my fabric, beautiful fabric, and of course my rich auntie vibe by Liran Collections. Thank you so much to her. Of course, makeup products. Yes, so I have a makeup product sponsor now. By Sigma Health and Beauty, where you have authentic makeup, right here in Ghana. Thank you so much to Inshilo G8 for my hair. Makeup beautifully done by The Global. My beads by 20 Craft. I'm so grateful to them. And for my first guest on the TSP with Gifty Auntie, especially being this Mother Month, is the one and only, ladies and gentlemen. Should I say Madam Chairperson? Should I say Nana Hima? Or Madam President? Nana Hima Frimpomaa. Please put your hands together for her. Nana Hima, please join me. Wow, you look stunning. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Please take your seat. Midasi. I'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
And welcome back to TSP with Gifty Auntie, the very first episode, the official episode hosted by me, of course. And we have a powerhouse to start with. This time, as I told you during the intro, it's going to be more of one-on-one. We are going deeper, untold stories. And she's an embodiment of what I'm talking about. Let me say thank you to Verna Mineral Water. Verna Mineral Water has balanced pH level, all the right quantities of or amount of minerals. It is low in sodium, and they believe in sharing in love and changing lives. Thank you so much to Bigo. And then, of course, House of Food, Auntie Vera and the team. We are so grateful to you, Mrs. Oforipoko and the family. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Yep Cleaning Services, who make sure our environment is clean. Juice Time, All Cuisine. Thank you so much every time for supporting us. All the pastries, the tasty pastries that you want, please go to her. And of course, for your catering, big time, small time, home, Auntie Vera, House of Food, thank you so much. We are grateful to all of them. My guest today, Mami Shemispersini. But let me tell you something about my guest today. She was the first Queen Mother to appear on the Standpoint when we started almost 16 years ago. First Queen Mother to be, and she was on it number of times. She was, passionate and championed the cause of women and spoke out like none other. Hey, Queen Mother. And she broke all the rules and then, or the perception we had about Queen Mothers. And today, she's here as the chairperson of CPP and the 2024 presidential aspirant. CPP. Yes, you heard me right. And she's Nana Frimpomaa. Nana, welcome to the star. Welcome back home.
Wonderful, and it's really, really nice to be here.
We couldn't have started with anybody but you.
You see the way life works.
Yes.
It's the gods.
I know, right?
I can't believe it that I'm starting with you on this because for a while I was believed to be the Queen Mother for
The standpoint.
The standpoint.
Yes.
And today
Yes.
I'm here.
And Frimpomaa.
You know, I've followed you, I've read your books, everything, and I'm so proud of you.
You've read my books?
I'm so proud of you. So
thank
proud
you.
of you. I know there are millions of women out there, especially young women, who see you as their role model. And I strongly believe that you've inspired a lot. You've inspired a lot. And lots of the stories have been inspiring. And I'm just proud to be here again with you.
Thank you. How do you find our transformation?
In fact, the reason why I wore this color is because of that. When I saw the white thing, I said, I'm going to be in something green.
Green. Oh,
This is beautiful.
Oh,
this is
thank you.
beautiful.
Thank
You
you.
always
Thank
go
you.
up, 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 up. But
Just like
can I
you.
have an idea what the TSP stands for?
The standpoint.
Oh, that's simple.
That's simple. TSP is the standpoint.
Wonderful.
But this time we are capturing, we don't used to have a discussion. Now we are having individual women tell their authentic stories and share their untold stories to empower, to inspire, and to model and mentor many out there.
It seems to be, you always look gracious every day.
Oh,
It's wonderful.
then I'm shy.
I know you can't be so pretty to be shy.
But Nana Hima, you know I can't stop calling you Nana Hima.
Let's stick to that one. It's okay.
Nana Hima, do you enjoy being controversial?
Not really, but you know how life works. You find yourself in situations, and I'm one of those people that, should I say, I think on my feet, or I just do what must be done when it must be done. It just comes to me. So sometimes when you really need to make some statements or say things that really need to affect others, in our part of the world, sometimes you look like it's controversial.
You seem to have fought all your adult life. Fought for children, fought for women, fought as a queen mother, fought as a politician, now fighting to be a presidential candidate.
You are so right. As you remember, I started off by wanting to affect young people. If I'd stayed on that level, it's still going to be some sort of fighting, especially for people that were out of school and trying to make young people think African and think and believe in themselves. Okay. However, you move from one level to the other. Looking at a lot of the work that I did during the Caring Kids International time, and also as a Queen Mother, I did impact lives. However, you can do by so much. I always make this analogy. When I remember after several years, one time when I was going back to Doma for Christmas, I used to give gifts out to young people. Each year, I didn't give anything less than 5,000 gifts to people. That was what I did for several years. And so one time, I said, let me just go ahead and find out who was staying home after, because school reopens in September. This is in Christmas. So I just sent a small word. I told the FM. She said, how many children are home who would need support? That didn't go to school before. School had opened. This is during SS. And I got 10. So I knew 5 million at that time to pay to get to school. So I organized it. By the time I got to Doma, it was 40-something. So I came to organize. When I got there, it was 147.
Whoa.
I made it a point I took all of them back. I don't even know their parents. I don't know where they are coming from. There were kids, young people at 7 once and things. If I look at the number of young people whose life has been affected, the passion and the conviction that Ghana, the only way to move forward, even to help a parent, is to help a child. So yes, one person can make a difference. I really believe that. But I believe that when you have the resources of the people and you truly are committed to the people, it is much easier than for you to be using your own resources. So in the process, I collapsed with the children because it's like every day somebody is coming to you. Sometimes I go to Doma, I may free petrol. You understand?
Yeah.
Because just about the time that you are leaving, somebody will come there.
Yeah.
And you look at the problem, and for me, most of my problem were children who hadn't gone to school. You know that if this child ending at JSS was like basic, the FQ level, it was unfair.
Right.
And for me, I don't want to use the word sinful, but not shameful, but it's so, because it's like, even to get a position as a driver or a security person at the ministries, the basic education was it WAEC or SHS? Right. So why leave the education at basic level? Right. It was completely disenfranchising Ghana as a country because you never know when the next Bill Gates, you never know the next Alibaba, you never know the next Amazon, you never know nothing. It may not be necessarily your children. Yeah. You understand? Because when our children even get all these advantages, yes, they might do well, but that kind of tenacity, that thing that you need in a child that at a point can make all the difference to affect a nation. Because today you only need one person, just one person, because of the current technology. Gone are the days, where everything has to be the resources under the earth. Today, one person is all you need. Any of these top people, whether it is Instagram, Twitter, call it Alibaba, any of them, one person changed the whole nation.
And talking of one person, do you think it takes a woman? The one person, will it take a woman to be that one person?
Absolutely, especially in this part of our world. In this part of our world, we've missed it. Let me tell you some of the things in the areas that we've missed it. We have men who are our children, our husbands, our uncles and brothers, very smart. We all know that. No question about that. But for something that's because of the colonization, that's the way I want to say it, because of the fact that we've been oppressed for all these years, because of the fact that we have not been able to become the best we can be based on who we are, because of the fact that I have to try and be somebody else. For that reason, I believe that we've lost touch of the real solutions. And in the process, where we are today in this country, if we don't get somebody that has that instinct and that discernment and no matter what can be able to see what must be done. It is not a rocket science to know that as we sit here, the economy is not working. Not because we have people who are evil, but for me, they don't understand the economies of the country. I have been a business person all my life. I have read, I've understood these things, and I have the desire and the conviction that we can do it. When Osajifo said the African was capable, it is not just about feeling. It means that if you are capable and somebody should go away and that you can manage your own affairs, it means your children must have access to accommodation, quality education, jobs, live in their own environment. Even if they travel, it should just be for some exchange or some kind of whatever happens. But you don't send the colonial invader away, and then your children, after some time, would have to find ways, manipulate ways, whether in capsizing boats or going through deserts that they die through, whatever it is, lie on paper, change their name, change anything, so that they can survive. Not that they want to do anything extraordinary, so that they can survive with their children, a family, take care of, be able to even get married. or pay for a rent or get a land, that's a failure. That's a complete failure. And I think because, like I'm saying, we have lost touch. There's a disconnect between what we learn and what we have here. So I have a word called Ghananization. We need to Ghananize our system. We need to take theories and bring it to Ghana. But beyond everything, you must put the human being, the welfare, at the center of every decision, every policy. Once you miss that is where a woman comes in. Or your bad time at home, whether you have 20 children, maybe your own birth children might be 5, then an auntie, a sister who died. But once you have 20 kids in the house, if it's a long car of Gary, you'd find a way of making sure that everybody gets something. Because you really don't discriminate your children. So, and I believe that the discrimination is too much.
This kind of talk, they say, is trivializing it. It's making it seem so simple. And you have been in positions of authority there. But when you get there, you realize that the powers that are dealing, the powers that are pulling you from all, it makes you incapable. It incapacitates you that you can't do much. You may have the heart to, but the powers that be, from the Western, from your political parties, for your godfathers, it just will not allow you to do what you are supposed to do.
You are so right. Absolutely right. That is why, for someone like me, this might not be the forum to say it, because I will not be able to explain much. When I took over, in fact, I became the chair only to give young people a vehicle that they can go and be able to do just what you've said. You see, when you have structures that are already running, it's like somebody going to parliament and you expect him to get to parliament and be able to say something different from what his group is saying. It's so difficult because he went through primaries.
Yeah.
And the people that supported him during the primaries, if he is able to come up with his own mind, he'll be out. Next time, he's definitely not coming.
What do you think about the women in parliament now?
Yes, so basically, what happens is that you need to stand. You need to stand by that somebody must sacrifice in this world. What you've just narrated is exactly what it is. But in any situation, before something can change, the establishment you must not do everything as the status quo. Something must change, and that is who I am. I have fought my people, not fighting, but based on principles. We must go and organize grassroots. If you don't want to do the grassroots and the polling stations and lecture, I'm not interested, because I don't want to do business as usual. If it's business as usual, I'll stay as a queen mother, as a philanthropist, and I continue just to help the small group I can help. But if we need to take power, it's about a numbers game, you must go back there. Women in parliament. I mean, becoming a parliamentarian is a big challenge. If we do continue how we are going now, where even the electorate expect you to give them something before they vote for you. Now, for the women in parliament, since we don't have this, we try to do what we call it, this bill that has been in parliament for, and I think
affirmative action.
It will be there for a long time, if ever.
Do you think they will ever sign it?
Never. It just won't happen. Until women are in parliament, it won't happen. Do you understand? As long as women, we are barely, it's 15%. The last time, between 12 and 15%. Nobody is going to give you that, because parliament is power. Power is not given out. People don't hand power out. Unless the leader decides that he's going to go by all means to do A, B, C, D. And unless the majority of the people decide they're going to do that. But when you are in the minority and you expect the majority to hand over power to you, it won't happen. It will just be going around just as it's been happening. It's just not going to happen. And so the day that women will get up, just as you've gotten up to do what you're doing, and just as I'm sitting here, women will not wait for anything. I'm waiting for the day that women, because the spirit of the woman, if the women gets up and say that we are going to do this, regardless, they won't worry too much about the the debt that will be thrown at them, because you know the debt there.
Then we'll come to that. Let me take a break and then we'll come back. But let me say thank you to Sigma Health and Beauty for my makeup products, and of course, E-Gardens, the healing garden, a healing place for the beautiful plants. Life, this is a live plants, you know, real plants that they gave to us. We are so grateful to them. And then thank you to Al Cuisine, Yep Cleaning Services, Mrs. Oforipoko and family, and then House of Food. We are so grateful. We take a break. When we come back, I'll find out, when did a queen mother who was sitting on a black stool, how did she decide to go into politics? What does it take for a woman like this to break all the rules? Lay down rules. We'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
Welcome back to the TSP with a Gifty auntie. And our guest today is the one ever audacious Nana Frimpomaa, Nana Hima Bakope. Well, again, I say thank you to Adepa Fabrics for my cloth, and then my Rich Auntie Boo Boo by Liran Collections. Thank you so much to her. My wig by Insular G8, makeup product by Sigma Health and a Beauty company. They are to Makola. Thank you so much to them. Makeup beautifully applied by The Glow Bar. My beads and earrings by Twinny Craft. I'm so grateful to all of them. Nanaima, when you started becoming actively political, what did your chiefs and queen mothers say? Especially the queen mother, what did they say about it? First of all, let's start from here. Why did you decide? You knew that as a queen mother, you are not supposed to do politics. You sit on a black stool, not just in Kosovo Hima, down to a Hema. Very powerful position.
I know. I think we really need to really look at the whole, that part of our constitution, honestly. Because for me, it's one of those things that came to me natural, like I explained to you. It's difficult. How do you make that decision? Like in my family, you know, before you get to the traditional council, your family itself is the one that
will nominate you.
Yeah, they said when my uncle was alive, he said he wasn't going to nominate anybody. Because obviously, you understand, simply because of the work I did. But it is because of who I am. That is why I did so many things I did also as a queen mother. It's very difficult to talk about this matter simply because that institution is one of the most revered royal institutions that without it, I don't see how Ghana would have prospered.
Yeah.
And if we can find a way of incorporating it into governance system properly, not this kind of governance where it's just by ceremonial, where everything else is given to the DCE. So the whole district's money and funds are with the DCE, but the chiefs and the traditional rulers do it as voluntarily and as a service to God and to the community. Yet, when you look at Doma and you count the number of police stations there, the only reason why for the longest time you go, the station is virtually empty is because in every small village there's an Odukru who is handling matters. If there's somebody, anything that's supposed to end up maybe in a real serious matter, it comes to them, they sit down without pay every day and they handle these disputes. And so there's some sort of sanity in the system. And when our colonial invaders left, why they put that clause in there? People say it's because the stool is, they want to glorify it and they don't want it to be stained.
Yeah, but because politics is dirty. Everything in is dirty.
But in Europe, in England, who is the head of the whole place? Yeah. Is it not the Queen?
Yeah.
How come they didn't do that there? everything that goes through there, he sort of oversees it,
yeah.
and his consent or his consent is sorted out. You know why? Because when you have a certain connection to a land and to a people, you don't muddy the waters. You don't just put chemicals in water, or you make the people suffer. You don't care. There's a certain connection. So my chief, the Mahini gets up. He is walking through villages and towns to ensure that the place is clean, because he knows what happens to plastics. You understand? Yeah. So right now, Osajifo has made the place clean, and he also insisted that when the galamsey came, that the chiefs should not be doing the galamsey in his area. So at a point, if you were involved in galamsey, you had a problem. And just by saying that, it worked. So me, as I sit here, every meeting I've gone to, any of these galamsey issues, I was the one that proposed that trying to bring tax force and bring all those things into the Doma districts or go into it's just a waste of energy. All you do is connect it to the chief, tell Omanhini that, listen, we want to make sure the water here is clean. Okay. If we find any problem, we deal with you. He also calls his traditional council and says, I want to make sure that this water is clean. If there's a problem, I deal with you. So now the connection will be between them and the council, the people, the commission that gives the licenses. Yes, yeah. But somebody sits in Accra, because the land belongs to the chiefs. The minerals belongs to the people and trusted to the care of the presidency. The presidency gives authority to a commission to give it out. So the commission gives my land that my family has been on for the past 30 years to now to somebody from Asia or a Ghanaian or somebody else to come and mine gold. My boys who are not finished engineering, who has gone to the university, knows exactly what to do. What are they going to do? They will sit down there and not do anything. It's not possible. You understand? But if it was in the hands of the chief directly, and when I'm talking about direct, not ceremonially, but directly, what would have happened is that they would have the power and the money.
Let me take you back to my question. When did you, because we are talking about your stool, your role as a queen mother, now you've taken me back to politics. Have you always been this political? Were you a student leader? When did this this spirit of politics get into you?
Is it politics? Please, so I went to some place in the Western region, and we saw this crab and shrimps, and I bought some. Just near the river, the bridge, the Ankobra bridge. Ankobra. You know, when I brought the crab home, I couldn't eat it. Because I'm looking at the water, and I'm looking at the shrimp and the crab I've bought. It's not politics. It's about our lives. See, that's the point I'm making. We've separated politics from everyday things. And once you separate it, what happens is that you have the system that we have in Ghana, where you have people that really care, just becoming queen mothers or whatever, and they cannot even have any influence, just only in their area. But the policy makers, the people who sit down and make the policy, which has polluted the water, they don't have a say. For me, it's not politics. It is about us looking. Something is not working, has not worked in the past. How do we make it work? We maybe need to re-look at the constitution. We need to look at something. Something must make it work. So this parish, I've always been like this, everywhere. Even when I was in school, if you wanted to go to the bathroom in the night, okay, in Infantsman, yes. I remember very well, everybody would wake me up. I'm that kind of person who, yeah. I'm always like that. I'm from my childhood. Even I remember some girl, they said she's a Steve. I want her to be my friend. I'm not somebody who put people out there. It has been me. That is who I am. Do
you think our school motto did something for you? Obranyo warabo, obra pasudo waragwan. And our anthem is just a war song. Hey!
Obranyo warabo, premko.
Obrani warabo, free tito dumakumo. What's it? Hey, Osne, O Bruman Kume, O Bruman Kume, Dafetane, Osne, Osne Chinabwa, Bar Fats, my girl, secondary school, yay! One buta, what about one is young behind then? We are buta, yes, boy, young is young behind there. O brain, you are mo. Obra Pasujora Kwan Ampa.
It's true.
You took it to World Cup.
You know, I grew up in a Catholic home. I went to catechism. I went for all these things. So you are brought up to think that you should care for people. You understand? Especially if you have that kind of family who... my father was a politician, so maybe that's where it came from. My father was a politician.
Which party?
Oh.
CPP.
Oh.
He was. You know, at a point they said you were MPP. At a point we all thought you were MPP.
You know why? Because when I started the NGO, I came to do the NGO for my late sister, Dr. Marianne Okan, who died in a way that I thought was so pathetic, and there wasn't much we could do here. We had to take her in the most vulnerable state outside the country. And for the young people who really supported her, once I was in the US, I wanted to come back and do something that would... I realized that why should we not have that equipment? Why should my daughter... I had children in the US and they were smart. So then it dawned on me. It's just the expansion of the human mind. We have made it so that we can't be our best. So I said, I'm going to come in here. My dedication is to help young people expand by expanding their minds. That is how Caring Kids came. Now, when you talk about... What were we even talking about?
Let me take you back. Do you think that Nananom, you were somebody who always believes in the ancestors? There's wisdom in ancestry. Nananom literally called you back home, not just to be a queen mother, but also to come and stand for your nation to change. Because I've heard you make such comments that when you came, it wasn't just by coincidence.
Absolutely.
You believe that the ancestors called you home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the conviction with which I do things, the obsession, sometimes I wonder whether and I say, "Bibi, what is it?" You know, if you don't know me well, and you sit somewhere, you misinterpret me. You see how you talk about MPP?
Yeah.
I've never had an MPP card, never. But when I was doing the programs I was doing, the extent and the conviction with which I was doing the program, I invited the Honorable Minister for Girl Child, Christine Church. She's like a sister to me. When she came to look at the program and she saw, she couldn't believe it. So then us Nana, them program I adopt.
Yeah.
So everywhere Christine went from that time, unless I was not in Ghana, I would go with her. Yeah. The books that I gave to the reading clubs, everything were my own, nothing from the ministry. So because I was seen with Christine, and because I was a queen mother, and because I was at that time doing a lot of things on air and things, people thought it must be MPP, especially with the youth. When I was working with the youth program, when on money them and were all the nooks, I'm sure they all might have thought, because if everything they do, I'll take them to see this person, see that person. It's just the passion that I have. Never. My father was, my father Saponko Mankoma was an MP for Ejosu Jabin at that time. Now, the truth of the matter is that they were the young boys of Osajifo. So he was in charge of the, what they call the Ghana Young Farmers League. They were supposed to be the ones focusing on farming for the industries that were being built. So he traveled everywhere. And so at the time that Osajifo was overthrown, they were banned. So me, I grew up in a home where my father, I say, he couldn't even live to his fullest, because for 10 years, they weren't supposed to take anything. He went to jail for 2.5 years. I never saw my daddy from the time that the coup was announced and they were told to go to Osha Fort or somewhere. Never saw him for 2 and something years.
So, do you think you've healed from that experience?
You
were young, it was traumatic. Do you think you've healed?
No, completely traumatized. traumatized.
Do you think you've healed from that experience?
You know somebody that's a can do go school. We used to have those pots with 3 layers food.
For the years, yeah.
I forgot the canteen.
The canteen, yeah.
Then overnight, my uncle comes to pick me into a room like this with a curtain. That's the wife. The curtain separates the bed. And then myself, my brother, and the first child and some house girl, we slept there. I had to walk to school in Nadabaka to go to school all the time. I didn't see my father. It was painful. Sometimes when I say it, you understand.
That's why I asked you.
But
do you think you've healed from it, Nanaima?
Do you know why I'm escaping that statement? Yeah. Because that means I have to go for some therapy to find out.
No, not that.
You know the way they do it over there. Why is this thing happening to me? I have directed that energy to help people. I've directed. So when I see a young person, I see you in any child.
Yeah.
That's the gift I have. That's my number one gift. Me who about frown when wrong. They can with mucus.
Mucus, yeah, coming out of the nose, yeah.
If I tell you the people who have passed through my hands, you won't believe it.
Yeah, I know.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because I don't know why I saw there's so much good in them. And it was not because I expect that person to do me any good. Oh, no. I just had this belief that any reward for me is coming from somewhere, and just to do what I have to do here. I have gone to even past the point where I'm thinking of what is the person going to do for me. It's just that my yet's a vessel. Right now, I feel possessed. Nothing anybody is going to give me in this world is going to make any difference unless I can contribute my quota.
Yeah.
And I believe the contribution of the quota is to help to make Ghana work. You see this thing?
Yeah.
So, it is so become.
I know that Meba Beka say, you know, definitely we are in election year, and so definitely we will have you on to come and articulate your vision as a presidential, you know, by the grace of God, if you're endorsed by your party to become the presidential candidate, to articulate your vision. But when you go to church, you are raised in a Catholic home, then what's the yamfadie? So if you become the president and you are being sworn in at the Independence Square, and which one would you hold? Would you hold water and answer you?
Wonderful. Let me monitor for now. You see, as we've been speaking, I don't believe people are bad. I believe that when they said God breathed his breath into man and we became a living creature, it's real. It means that
God didn't create any bad people.
No. The spirit in us is good spirit. It is just the situation you find yourself in, things here, past here, that sometimes make you do some things you're not supposed to do. So I like to assess the goodness in people. Period. The ancestral spirit of my fathers and your fathers are not evil spirits. They are not. What has happened over the years with colonization is that they came in there, and for some reason we were not able to we ourselves, not, I won't say purify, but as you work through any system, you polish it. You can say, oh, let me see, this thing has to be off. This is not helping me. Let's put it in the middle there. That is how life has evolved for everybody. But we have not had the chance to do that because we're colonized and foreign things have come to us. We have not seen that as our way of life. And therefore, anything that is not foreign but is local, we've come to think of it negatively to the extent that we think that even traditional things are all evil in extent. Now, madam, when I swear, what is the essence of swearing? People are calling it Mami Wata, and I have people in my system, they think that's what I'm saying is not deep. It's so deep, and let me tell you why. We are Africans. You want to stop corruption. Corruption is the very essence of the reason why we are where we are. Ghanaians are smart people. Ghanaians, especially the youth of this country, they know what to do. Every Ghanaian has studied something and should be able to come back here. But as we sit here today, even our educational system, my grandchild is watching TV, and it just dawned on me. The rhymes that I was singing, 60 years ago plus, it's what he's also singing in school. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, ba, black sheep. Why? Where are all the PhD holders, all the masters, all the young people who could have made rhymes that would reflect who we are with things around us? What is Rabbi Black Sheep, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? Do you get my point? So many things. If you know why I stopped doing my reading programs that I used to do?
Yeah.
Because I realized that the books I was giving to children was a little distant from them, in as much as it helped them to get the English words. So I said, I'm going to rather let children start writing. That's why I'm so proud of you with your book. So here is my point. My point is that my ancestors did something right. Let's see how we refine it to make life work for us. We brought in the Bible. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. Indeed, let me say something to everybody hearing me today. If all the Bibles in the world got burnt today, and all the Quran, is it what you call Quran?
Quran.
All got burnt, would that be the end of God? Never. God lives in us, and we have our way of worshiping God before all these things came in there. But we have abandoned it. So what I'm saying is this. When you go to your storeroom, you pour libation, and you come out. I can tell you, whatever you said there, it is very difficult for you to come out and do the opposite. Nobody was there with you because you realized that you were speaking to your ancestors. Now, the land that we live on here belongs to us. The people who are struggling, the woman whose baby is in the incubator that doesn't have access to nothing, the pregnant woman who is sleeping on the floor, the young person who can't pay accommodation, the youth whose employment doesn't mean nothing. These are all the human beings who own the land. Yeah. It's for that reason that we call Ghana. They have to have quality life. That is where politics comes in, but for me, it's real. So if we find that they are good people, but life is not working because, like we just said, the way you get to parliament, when you get to parliament, you must then do what must be done. And you ask for the bribes, your godfather said this, your godmother, you cannot change it. What is that thing that is going to make you do the right thing? You want to reset the button.
Are you saying that there are queen mothers who are not corrupt?
No.
Chiefs who are not corrupt.
No, absolutely not.
There are chiefs and queen mothers who are not doing things that they know the stool does not like, and yet they do it.
I'm saying that America police officers are corrupt. I'm saying that
there's corruption everywhere.
But when you have a critical mass, a certain number of people doing the right thing, then society begins to work. Where we are today, me, myself, when a police stops me, the first thing I do is take money and give the police officer. Because it's to be waste too time. Are you understand? And first of all, when he stops you, put the hey man, who watch you? That's all he's saying.
And
so
it's become a norm.
It's become the
It doesn't seem like corruption.
No.
That's
exactly my point. That's why I'm saying we need to reset the button. Yeah. If we don't reset the button, very soon somebody will give you water which he didn't intend to poison you, but the water is poisonous. But he is the cheapest one that he has to buy for you so that he can get money to pay for his child fees or the rent that is being thrown away. People want to be good, but our structure and our system has made it so that we have come to accept these everyday things as if it's the status quo, as if it's our lot. And so I say that let's reset the button. The Bible is good, but Bible, no. You can do it when I go, do it. We are very good. I want you to do this with any young person. I gave young people a Bible and water. And there's excess for them. Say, what can some kind? You lied. You know that what you have said is not true. But you cannot speak the truth. And I'm saying that take the Bible or the water. Which one would you take? 99.9% of them. Which one would you take? Who be doing true? And China would you know? Would him say anyanda with my the Bible? If you know you are lying, and they gave you the Bible, you take the Bible, because you know God's anger takes away, and you can always go to your room and pray to your God. But as for me and you, if you lie to me and you pray to God, it's not going to solve the problem. Do you get my point? Because I know you've lied to me, so I can come and retaliate. So the water, it's what the water does. Because the water over the years we believe that in so today, that every water has a source.
Yes, source.
And then we know the source is coming from somewhere. So even if you are drinking Vena water, it still has a source. So this is what I'm saying. Let's reset the button of integrity and ethics in our society again. Let's make it difficult for people to say no and yes to the right thing and no to the wrong thing. Let's make it easy for people to do what they know is right. And the way to do it is to give them something a little what our ancestors did that worked. Those days, who can't semina? Unya can say, yes, what can you won't mince words with, because when you say a partial, not that anybody is going to curse anybody, but your own conscience, its integrity. We need to reset it. If we don't do that, what is going to reset? When you start cutting people's head, you need the police service to prosecute somebody, so that that person will go and be executed. That police service itself has a problem. That institution. Then that police service has gone to a judiciary for them to also make sure that this person really deserves to die. So the situation is that within me, and I think that we should give amnesty and then make sure that we add water. You drink water every day. As I've been here, I've drunk 2 bottles of water. I bath with water. So it reminds me of the pledge I've made to the people. Water is the pledge to the people. The Bible is the pledge to God. We're talking about struggling people on the street. We're talking about young people accommodation. I'm talking about Ghana working for my children and the youth of this country. So, and I'm saying the Ghanaian is a good person. So why are you afraid of the water? Who can say, I pledge in every
myself in all things.
And that I'll protect the constitution of the country, and I'll protect the land, and so and that if I should falter, it's in there. If I should falter, the law should deal with me. Why are you afraid of water? So what can you Matthias say? He said, as you have said that, just drink water to it. Then hey, you said it's not godly. Why are you drinking water if it's not godly?
It takes Nana Frimpomaa Sapon Kuma to shake the system. She's been shaking tables and chairs and beds and bottles and rooms since as far as I have known her. And what do you think? What do you think? Nana, we wish you all the best, even as you step out to campaign to become your party's flag bearer. I believe you'll win, and when you win, we will still have some very interesting and intriguing, conversations. Never a dull moment talking to you. Thank you very much for being our guest, my first official guest for TSP with Gifty Auntie.
Oh,
I love you, Nana.
I feel so privileged, and this is also the goal. So my idea. Yes.
And a plan so
complete.
I'll be back with a bit of me. So during your career progression, did you have female bosses? Did you encounter female bosses?
I've had one. I've had one. So that's the CEO before me, Yolanda. Okay. And interestingly, she came from South Africa.
Yeah.
I had been told that I was going to be CEO. And then getting to a few months to the time, I was told actually somebody else would come in. So it was a very peculiar leadership time for her. Right. Because she had been told she was supposed to have gotten the job, but you are in for a period before Patricia comes in. So managing that relationship, knowing it's a female boss, people have all sorts of perceptions about female bosses, and then knowing that she knows meant that I had to help her to settle well, and everything I would do would signify whether I'm supporting her or frustrating her. So, and she was a fantastic woman to work with. She didn't frustrate me. She gave me what I needed to do my job. And I remember when she was leaving, she said, "Succession done right." That was her post on Twitter, So I haven't experienced bad female bosses, no.
Now let's have a moment. Conformists do not make history. Non-conformists make history. Yes, sometimes bad history, but most of the time, good history. If you want to be a woman who wants to be counted among the greats, if you want to be a woman who will stand out and be an example, you need to do things differently. You don't have to follow the norm. You need to dare to take some bold, calculated risk and steps. You need to challenge the status quo. Yeah, they will talk. Yeah, you may win. Maybe you may succeed, maybe you may not. But you see, life throws 1,001 challenges to us every day. Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we win. You may never know which is which unless you try. Dare to challenge the status. Dare to push beyond your comfort zone. Dare to stand up and be counted for what you believe in and what you stand for. I am a woman with super crazy faith in God. So I try to look at the women in the Bible, the ones whose name made it into the Bible, and what they did. Yes, they didn't do the usual. They dared to stand out. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.